Dude, since we last spoke, I have two properties that are one that has got a tenant occupied,
Awesome.
cash flowing. The second is wrapping up renovations probably by the end of next week. And then I have six more under contract in a package deal that will close at the end of this month. And so the advice I would ask for you is on a scaling note, how fast is too fast? If I can find the cash and we can keep growing, I don't. This six makes me nervous because it's a big investment. It's $500,000, right?
Mhm.
In total package. It's 379 is the total package price across six houses.
Mhm.
Um, Most of them are 3-1, so just give you some ideas there. But the question directly is these will close. Four of them are tenant occupied, so I'll start the renovations on the first two that are vacant, and then I'll go from there. I've got contractors already lined up and ready to rock.
Mhm.
Uh, but I still am getting deals like I don't know about anybody else, but like deal flow in the spring was slow. Deal flow
Mhm.
now is I feel like I get a new deal every day,
Mhm.
uh, or potential deal that I would consider.
Right.
So, uh, how fast is too fast is I guess the direct question.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, congrats. So you would be, golly, how long has it been? You'd be going 0 to 8 doors in, was it 6 months?
Yeah,
Whew.
yeah.
Heck
The
yeah, man.
package, the package got me way ahead, but the goal was to get one by August was the original goal I set,
Mhm.
and then I think four by the end of the year. So this package came across from a realtor that I've been using that I referred Ricky to, and she just found it and said, "Hey, you've been picking up properties. I'm giving you first dibs. Do you
Mhm.
want to take a look at this?" And I was like,
Well,
"Yeah."
yes,
So.
I do. That's awesome, man. Okay, so so let's talk about that. How fast is too fast? The the answer, as always, is it depends. It depends on your own capacity. It also depends on your team. Usually, the biggest limitation is your team. Now, your capacity, if they're turnkeys, how fast is too fast is essentially a question of, do you have the money to do it? And can your
Right.
property management team get somebody in there without 6 months of vacancy costs, right? But are all six of these going to be burrs or are they turnkeys? Tell me more about it.
They burst. They all need work.
Okay.
More than some more than others, varying from like a full roof replacement to just cosmetic cleanup to one of them has foundation issues, and I've got a foundation guy that I used on another property already that has quoted me everything's in line. So
Mm,
it's just a rotted beam basically that just needs to be replaced.
yeah.
So fairly foundation big, but grand scheme of things small.
Yeah.
So, and I got concessions for the roofs and the foundation issues as well.
Awesome.
So,
That's great.
um, yeah, but the short answer is Burr.
Okay. Okay. And then what's the scale, per door? Is it $5,000, $30,000 rehab each door?
Varying as well. So
Okay.
between on the low end 5,000, that would just be cosmetics, some touch ups, some paint, cleaning up cabinets, things like that.
Mhm.
And then in the high end would be the highest one I have is 36,000.
Okay.
And it's roof replacement,
Hmm.
ripping out flooring, doing the whole nine.
Great. Okay. So really you're asking how quickly can I move and how quickly can my team move? It's a little bit easier for you to move quickly than it would be for your team most of the time because you just have to make the decision, am I going to buy or not? Right. So it's a little bit simpler there. The only thing I'd say is, when I break this question down into two factors, how fast is too fast or how fast can I move? The two functions are you and then your team. So when you're evaluating you, you're essentially saying how much risk am I willing to incur, right? And you've calculated what your numbers are and are comfortable with the numbers, great. Um, if you're doing multiple deals that are all high risk at the same time, that's something to at least consider as far as what your cushion is and what level of risk you're comfortable with. But as far as how quickly you're going to move, if they're going to be burrs, it's not necessarily extra taxing on you. You just have to put some thought to what order do I want to do these things in? Like, what's the best way to go about doing this? Because let's say if you've got one contractor and they're going to do these properties sequentially, my recommendation would be to start with the easiest rehab. Start with and I'm doing this on my 8plex right now. Starting with the doors that need $5,000, get them ready to go, and then have your property management rent them out so that you're not incurring as much vacancy cost. The bigger ones then get them started at the end, right? So that you're already getting rent in from other people to offset the cost of that one not having renters in it. So that would be my recommendation. So tell me a little bit more about your contractors. Are they going to be able to do all of them at once? Like, is the general contractor well connected enough, or are they going to do them in sequence?
So I'm going to use two contractors to do this. One of them is a lot cheaper than the other, but the other is a lot better, just from a quality of work perspective. So the more expensive one does flips all the time. I'm using him on a property now. The cheaper one is more of like your kind of handyman small crew guy. So I'd probably use him on the smaller projects, and I'd use the other guy who has full crews for the bigger projects. But and then I've got two or three backup. Like the hardest thing for me in my market was originally just finding contractors. So I've got two or three backup contractors that can fill in that I haven't gotten quotes for because I don't want to waste the personal equity at this point. But I know their availability. I could fill them in should we need it. So hypothetically, I could do all the projects at once, all six at once, but realistically, I'll probably keep the ones that are occupied, start with the two, use both contractors at the same time and see quality of work, right? The second one that I'm using would be the first time I'm using him. So I also kind of want to see on a small project before I give you a bunch of cash, like, are you going to do the job well?
Right. Yeah. So of these six, you said, are two of them occupied?
Two of them are vacant and the four are occupied.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I would say, are the four that are occupied, are they on month-to-month leases, or tell me something about that?
Yeah, month to month or expiring within the next like 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
No concerns on that either.
Okay. So what you could end up doing is start with those two vacant ones, get them rented out because you've got income coming in, and then you've got some options. You could say, in fact, Douglas did this really well on one of his properties, where he said, I want to burr it, but if they're okay with me just increasing rent without doing any renovations because I'm getting it up to market rent, okay, that's an option for you.
Yeah.
Where if they're paying 600 and market rent is 1,000, you might say, hey, I need to stair step it up to 800, and 800 is the minimum. And then if I paint the outside, we can get it to 900, or if I do all of this at 1,000. That's if you want to keep them in there and you want to keep a tenant in there. If you would rather, that's one option. If you would rather just get them out and get things rolling, if you're really doing a true burr process and you're going to refinance to get this money back, then you probably need to renovate as quickly as possible so that you can refinance.
So I'm actually using a loan through a credit union, which is a loan product I had never heard of, but basically it's a builder's loan. It's a 12-month term. They'll give me prime rate for that 12-month term.
Yep.
No, it's a $500 flat fee, and then prime rate for the duration of 12 months. And then obviously closing costs for the title and everything else. And then I would refinance into prime plus, I think, 0.75 for.
So it's like a package deal designed for something like this.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yep.
Right.
So I would have 12 months regardless to do the rehab. They go and evaluate. They're doing appraisals this week, and they do the appraisal based on what I've given them a punch list of here's what I'm going to update on the house.
Great. Awesome. Yeah. One of the benefits of doing an appraisal on the front end is exactly what appraisal or value they're going to use on the back end. Right. Yeah. So if you need it to be higher, then you just say, well, I'm going to do some different things. So then it'll increase the value. Right. But you don't have as much volatility. The other nice piece about what you're talking about is your essentially your private money is at prime. What is that? 5% right now. I don't know what Wall Street Journal prime is, especially because Fed increased rates today, but that's really nice. Is this a local credit union?
It is Union, okay. Union Bank or Union Credit, something like that.
Cool.
In which falls.
Awesome. That's great. Did you get connected with them through someone local?
Yeah, through my realtor.
Cool. That's great. Yeah, so those kind of like those products that are oriented toward burrs can be really nice if they're a good fit for what you're doing. So a 12-month term at Prime is great. A 12-month term at that you have to keep for 12 months at 13%, a little bit different. So so this is great, man. So to go back and double back on your question of how fast is too fast, your capacity is going to change. Like as you continue to grow in experience, confidence, and competence, your capacity is going to change. So closing on multiple doors at once and managing multiple rehabs at once. Once you've done it, you kind of realized. In fact, Bree, one of the other students, she's her first deal. She was like, "Huh, what am I supposed to be doing when rehab's going on? Like, I'm not really doing anything." You know what I mean? And if you can manage multiple rehabs and you feel comfortable with that, great. So your capacity should increase, which is a good sign that you're feeling that way. I like to get to the point where I'm just scared enough. Like it almost turns into a lesson in character development where I'm scared and I want to be courageous. I want to like cultivate courage in my life. That's usually the rate at which I want to move, is just scary enough, but not like complete insanity. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, especially since they're a package deal, one close, one like it's a little bit more seamless. But this is exciting, man.
Yeah, I think that's the last piece of what you said is great advice. Just scared enough. I think I'm at that just scared enough where I have a rehab going, purchasing the next, concurrently, or at the same time.
Mhm.
Uh, I think if I was to do two closing at the same client time today, that would scare the hell out of me, but maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Awesome, man. That's super exciting. So when do you think you'll have rehab done?
I'm targeting 6 months, all six of them, targeting it to be done in 6 months. So because I can get the roofs done while they're occupied, that's the bigger ticket.
Mhm.
HVAC, depending upon the tenants, I may also do while they're occupied,
Yeah,
and keep month to month with that. And then depending upon Douglas, thanks for sending your thing in the chat, but depending upon how that goes, if I can increase their rent during the time and still hit my appraisal numbers, then I got to look into that. But it's a good idea. And then if not, then I'll boot them and do the insides after that.
yeah, yeah. Awesome, man. Well, congratulations. That's exciting.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for all your help too.
Of course.
So
That's
that's all I
great.
got.
Going 0 to 8 in 6 months, plus creating a human. I mean, that's big time.
Well, the human started a while back, but yeah.
That's great, man. Congrats.
Yeah, thanks, man.